guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Film Fan Club Show. Wow, what a great open, wasn't that?
Oh yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, special thanks to the animation class at Tulsa Tech Riverside for taking care of that, and Ben Sounds for the music. So, I'm joined by Anthony Frazier once again. He was so good, brought him back for 2 weeks in a row. You doing all right, Anthony?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. I love doing this. It's fun.
Yeah, how's it coming on the movie, by the way?
Oh, well, we're in our final stages right now. All I got to do is just edit in the voiceover, and we'll be done. Should be up by Friday, I want to say.
Should be up by Friday. What is that, April 1st?
Yeah, April 1st, yeah.
I'll put the link in the description below for Anthony's YouTube channel, Movie Man Productions. So make sure you check that out. And on Friday, April 1st, you'll see the premiere of Closure, starring myself. Hope I don't do bad. All right.
Boom.
Another movie premiered over the weekend, and we saw it was Batman vs. Superman,
Oh my gosh.
Dawn of Justice. So for the rest of this video, well, we'll get into some other stuff, including like Man of Steel. We'll talk about the trailers for Batman vs. Superman a little bit, but for the most part, we are going to be spoiling Batman vs. Superman. So I did do a non-spoiler review, and that might be up on the channel right now. So make sure you check that out if you just want to see a non-spoiler review of Batman vs. Superman. And then after you've seen the film, come back and check this out, and we'll be right here for you. So, Batman vs. Superman, we'll get to that in a second. But first of all, a lot of people have problems with the movie that came before it, Man of Steel.
Yes.
We kind of have different approaches. So I'm just going to ask you, you saw Man of Steel, came out like June, July of 2013, the kickoff to the DC Cinematic Universe, starring Henry Cavill, directed by Zack Snyder. What did you like about Man of Steel?
Man, okay. My thing, I really don't like Superman, like, not at all.
He's kind of a boring character a little bit, too powerful.
Yeah.
He can be.
But what Zack Snyder did and his team, what they did, they somewhat humanized him. They made him have, like, feelings. You never really got feelings from him, like, in other movies or anything.
Yeah, exactly. You never got the impression that Superman is a person.
Yeah.
And I agree. Zack Snyder was able to bring that to screen.
And I think he was the perfect director for that movie because visually, he can just do wonders, man.
The film was stunning, especially, he's a great action director, too.
Yeah, he is.
And, from 300 through Watchmen, all that stuff, it's just beautiful to watch on the screen. And the fight scenes you got Kryptonians fighting each other.
Yes.
That Smallville fight scene.
That was
crazy.
Fiora, she kicked so much ass.
Oh, Fiora, she's one of my favorite characters from that movie, too. And the little back and forth. I rewatched Man of Steel recently, and the little back and forth that she has with one of the generals or whatever. And like a good death is his own reward or something like that. And whenever it comes back later on in the movie, we'll also be doing Man of Steel spoilers. So, but yeah, when it comes back 3 years ago, and if you're watching Batman vs. Superman, you probably should see Man of Steel. So yeah, I just love the back dynamic they had, the interaction to Clark Kent. And how do you feel about his dad's Kevin Costner's kind of message to him, because he's kind of weird. He doesn't really know, like, hey, should you reveal yourself, should you not? Because he saves all those people in the bus, and he's like, should I let them die? Maybe. I don't know. And then it ties into his own fate. So how did you feel about Pa Kent in the movie?
I didn't quite understand it when I first saw it, but when I checked it out, I just was analyzing it, and it's like he did that for a reason. He's like, he's Clark. You're not exactly human, but you're
a person,
human like us. Yeah, you're a person like us. And I think what he's like, in being a person, you have to make choices. And, I'm giving you choices. I have my own opinions, but, this is your life. No one's going to tell you what you should and shouldn't do.
I love the way that they did that, too, at the end of the day. And it even carries over into Batman vs. Superman with Martha Kent. She kind of, you don't owe these people a thing. You never did. But you can be their idol. You can be none of that. You can. You have the choice. So it was really well done.
Yeah, because it's your life, you've got all this power that, people can be scared of you or they can look up to you, it's so poetic.
It is poetic. And speaking of being poetic, that scene where he first takes flight in the movie, one of the best cinematic moments in a superhero movie, I think, ever, because I get goosebumps when I listen to that soundtrack score. It's called Flight by Hans Zimmer from the Man of Steel soundtrack. Fantastic. I love that they kept some of the. Did you notice they kept some of the themes from Man of Steel in Batman vs.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I didn't think it either because I'm like, okay, whatever. It's not a Man of Steel sequel, but it did feel like that in the movie. That was really nice. And yeah, man, Hans Zimmer, he just knocks it out of the ballpark. I was like, I was a little skeptical. Like I think a lot of us were. It's like he's coming over from the Dark Knight trilogy, so he's he's involved in 2 cinematic universes. What? So, but I mean, I think it's proven he's the right guy to go to. So
originally he wasn't gonna do the score, but I guess
they talked him into it, yeah, because he's like, I've already done Batman, so like, what am I gonna do? So I don't know. I didn't really notice a little bit. Did you notice much of a Batman score? Because I just noticed a lot of the Man of Steel cues,
no.
but I didn't really notice anything.
I don't think there's going to be a Batman score because that's a totally different Batman.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, what else did you like about Man of Steel? The fight scenes were great. Did you like Lois Lane? Some of that stuff.
You know, she kind of grew on me. She's just Lois Lane.
She's definitely one character that kind of grows on you. Because I remember in the first movie, she was very. I don't know. It felt like they were trying to cram down our throats that, hey, she's a woman, but she's in charge. She's like she's very dominant in the situations. She's like telling people, telling the generals where to take her and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, I get it, but you're a little laying it on thick with it, and you're not really. Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah. The scene though where they go to Clark's spaceship. Did you notice that one of the doors is open in the spaceship that they visit from like 2,000 years ago, and people say that's like Supergirl or something.
Yeah, they're saying that was an Easter egg. I was like, that'd be pretty.
That'd be pretty cool. Do you think they're ever going to do Supergirl in the DC cinematic universe?
I don't see why not.
It'd be cool if they kind of incorporated her into something like Young Justice or Teen Titans or somewhere around one of those.
Wow, now I got a theory about because I'll tell you when we start talking about Batman and Superman.
Okay. So wait, we've talked about some of the pros of Man of Steel, but it's not a perfect film. So what are some of the things that you thought could have been improved in that first movie?
Let me think. It was kind of hard because I enjoyed it so much.
I definitely think the way Pa Kent died, I think in the comics it's cancer that kills him. And I think that would have been a little bit more beautiful. It wouldn't have been as cinematic, of course, big tornado saving a dog and stuff. But I kind of liked in the comics how it was cancer that killed him. And it kind of shows that, Superman is Superman, but he can't save everybody.
Yeah, he can't. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think cancer would have been better. Because he totally could have saved Pa Kent. He totally could have.
Yeah, and people are like wondering, well, okay, instead of Pa Kent running over, saving the dog, then running back, why didn't Superman run at a normal human pace, just jog over there, take the dog, jog back? So what if something falls on him and he's Superman and he can play it off? Like, oh, that didn't hurt.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing about Zack Snyder. He's kind of the king of plot holes.
Yeah, you're right.
But you know, he kind of makes up for it with the cinematography.
There's other parts of it, that's definitely with Zack Snyder. He's a very visual director.
Yes.
I liked though that the Man of Steel definitely felt like Batman Begins, but for Superman. So I kind of liked that they were able to find a really good mixture between Zack Snyder's kind of visual aesthetic style and Christopher Nolan's dark tone with the kind of grittiness and quasi-realism, we'll call it.
Yeah.
But it was really good. So do you have any other negatives before we move on from Man of Steel?
One other thing, it's not too bad. It's just like, the movie was really dark. Not like dark emotionally, but it was just like, it was a dark movie.
It could have been more saturated in the color tone.
Like more vibrant with its colors.
I agree, especially, the world itself, I go back and forth on whether or not it should actually be like the world, because I'm like, okay, it's Superman in our times, but I agree, the costume itself, Superman as a character, when he's on the screen, he should probably be more so, because especially in Batman versus Superman, they continue it a little bit, that he looks dark and brooding and like Batman, and I'm like, you could make him more, inspiring and, reflect that with the color palette.
Yeah, because...
So... Before we move on into some of the Batman vs. Superman stuff, your score for Man of Steel, what would it be out of 10?
I would probably give it an 8 out of 10.
I would agree.
Yeah.
At first, what was the first score that you saw? When you first saw it, I was like, I was kind of like 7 out of 10. I was like,
Yeah, that's what I was like, because my thing was that, you'll see this in Man vs. Steel, it's like the pacing is just kind of weird. Because...
Yeah, it definitely is. It carries over into Batman vs. Superman a lot,
And I guess that's his style. I'm not too sure, but... Yeah, because I know it was supposed to be like written kind of like a comic book, but I don't know if that works too well for movies.
The non-linear aspect of Man of Steel was a little bit weird at times, but I kind of liked it too a little bit. Kind of like Deadpool did the same thing. It was very non-linear. It kind of made us like, okay, we can get involved with Clark as a person before we go back and meet him as a kid. And it worked in that aspect. I gave Man of Steel, 7 out of 10 when I first watched it. I was like, okay, there's some thing you could have cut out. I think the action at the end went on for about 10, 15 minutes too long. You could have cut out the scene where he goes over to the Indian Ocean and fights all the CGI tentacles. I always think that you always could have cut that out.
Well,
and like,
actually, I don't know, because I love that, because that made me feel like I was watching like the old Superman like animated series.
Yeah,
that was really nostalgic for me. I don't know why, but
yeah, you get to see. Well, the cool thing is that at that point, you're right. He's Superman. We're done with the origin stuff, so you get to see Superman being Superman, and that's one of the things that I think Zack Snyder does so well. He really, you can tell he's a comic book fan. That he has a great deal of appreciation for these characters. Yeah. So I give now, as of right now, Man of Steel an 8 out of 10, which is higher than I rated The Dark Knight Rises, and I think it's higher than I rated the first Avengers movie too. And a lot of people say Avengers movie is like the best movie of all, or best comic book movie of all time.
No.
Can't beat The Dark Knight. Dark Knight's like 9.5 out of 10, but
Dark Knight was probably like the best cop movie.
That's what I agree. Best comic book movie of all time, The Dark Knight. No beating that. Which is why whenever I was getting ready for Batman vs Superman, I didn't even bother rewatching The Dark Knight because I just don't want to get so let down. You can't watch like Citizen Kane and then go see Gods of Egypt or something like that. And then, you know, but. So, yeah, speaking of transferring over into a little bit of Batman vs. Superman, there were a lot of trailers for this release that came, or for this movie that were released. There was, I don't know if you remember, like a year ago, back in like April of 2015, they had the very first trailer that showed the false god thing, before that. And then, they had the Comic-Con trailer, which had the God versus man, day versus night stuff. Then they had a third trailer, it had Doomsday in it, that third trailer did. That was the one where it was a big misstep, and a lot of people were kind of iffy about the movie at that point. But then they came back with this final trailer that really focused on the fight between Batman vs. Superman. So it was really, really good. So how did you feel just about the marketing and all the stuff, you know, the lead up, going from Man of Steel to Comic-Con 2013 when they announced Batman and Superman in the same movie, and then through the trailers and then to now? How the ups and downs of your excitement? Let's just talk a little bit about that.
I have been excited for this movie ever since. I forgot the actor's name. He played the lieutenant.
Henry Lennox, I think, who played General Swansick.
Yeah, the black guy.
Yeah, the black general. Yeah, he came out and he actually read the Dark Knight Returns quote.
Yeah, that's my favorite quote in any comic book and freaking anything.
If you guys haven't seen it yet, you should go try look it up, like Comic-Con 2013 Batman vs. Superman announcement or something like that. He reads the part where he's like, I want you to remember my hand at your throat, the one man who beat you. And I'm like,
oh man, oh my gosh. He's like, and all your most precious moments, all your times to come, I want you, Clark, to remember.
I kind of wanted them to do that in the movie. I was a little bit let down when they didn't.
All right, man, dude. I was like, okay, he's gonna do it when he's laying down, about to kill him.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, he's gonna do it, right?
Yeah. Didn't do it.
No.
Oh well.
But back to the whole marketing thing.
Yeah.
They got me. I jumped out of my seat. I called my uncle. I'm like, guess what they're doing?
Yeah.
He's like, what? He's like, oh my god. And then you know, months later, see the first trailer. I'm like, oh no. Then we hear Ben Affleck's gonna be Batman.
How did you feel about his casting?
At the time, I'm like, you could have gotten John Hamm. You could have gotten freaking. There's this guy. His name's Wes Bentley.
Okay.
I always wanted him to be freaking. If I had a picture of him right now, I would show you. But man, he is like.
I'll try and find one and for the post credits, post production. But and it's a lot. John Hamm, you mentioned that. That would have been a great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember I was one of those people that were. A lot of people were avidly for it or avidly against it. A lot of people were avidly against it. I was one of those people that was kind of in the middle. I didn't have a very strong memory of the Daredevil movie, and I knew that he had just recently been in the news for winning Academy Awards, directing Argo and The Town and stuff like that. So I was kind of like. You know, this could go either way with this guy because he has a really kind of unstable track record, kind of like Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then I saw pictures of like the new Batman. I'm like, oh wow, this looks good. He could pull this off. And then I saw some trailers. I'm like, okay, I'm getting a little bit more faith. The first trailer, and then I saw a second one.
The Comic-Con trailer. That was fantastic. Like 3.5 minutes of pure adrenaline.
Yes. Oh man. The very first Comic-Con footage they had when he did the speech, oh man, it was amazing. Because you saw him in the freaking armor in the Dark Knight
Returns. Yeah, that was the very first thing we saw from the footage from the movie was him with the armor and then the thing. And that's when I was like, man, this is going to be like 90% Dark Knight Returns adaptation. I was a little bit let down in that respect. But it had some references, not really added. I feel like Dark Knight Rises is a more so in an adaptation of the. It's funny, not to get on the Dark Knight Rises too much, but I feel like Dark Knight Rises is like 3 graphic novels in one because they do. They do Dark Knight Returns, and then they do Nightfall, and then they do No Man's Land in three separate ones, because that's the one where the Gotham's like seared off, and they blow up the bridges and all that stuff. And I don't know. Dark Knight Rises is a very good movie. A lot of people hate it. I like it. I was gonna do last episode. We ran out of time, but we were gonna do a something old for the Dark Knight Rises, but we didn't get around to it. So this is that was our something old for Man of Steel that you just saw. And now back to the marketing though. So yeah, Comic-Con trailer, that was fantastic. But then
that blew me away.
Exactly. Then you get to trailer 3. How did you feel with the third trailer with Doomsday and then the She with you? I thought she was with you. How did you feel about that?
I got nostalgic when I saw Wonder Woman. I'm like, oh my god, she is freaking.
She did look good. Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait, the trailer's not over yet. And you see like, you see Doomsday. I'm like, oh wait, what?
Okay. Yeah,
I'm like, wait, they're setting up something.
And we had heard some rumors before that trailer came out that, hey, Doomsday's going to be in the movie. He might be in the third act. And it's like, that's cool and all, but I'm going to ignore it and focus on the Batman vs. Superman fight for now because that's the movie. And then the trailer comes out and it's like, no, forget the fight. Here's Doomsday. And I'm like,
because I was hoping it's going to be like, oh, hey, it's not Doomsday. It's like, it's Bizarro. Or like, hey, it's not Doomsday. It's Wraith. Or
Bizarro Superman would have been a cool thing to do because
I could have totally
could have played into the storyline too with Superman like being bad or people thinking Superman's bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We're talking about the marketing. And then that final trailer came out. That was pretty cool when it showed the shot of him, Superman trying to fight Batman, but he blocks it and then it looks over. And although
was that the same trailer where it shows Batman taking out all those dudes at the beginning?
Yeah, that was that one.
Yeah, that brought me back.
And that was the one where he's like, I've known a few women like you. And Diana says, there are no women like me. And it shows Wonder Woman. I'm like, I always thought that should have been the reveal of the first look of Wonder Woman. Because that would have been so cool. Because you would have been like, okay, because comic book fans would have been like, okay, that Princess Diana chick, she's going to be Wonder Woman. That's cool, but we'll see that in the movie. Yeah. But then that review, there are no women like me. And then, that would have been freaking cool.
Awesome, man.
But I felt like DC was so excited to show off, like, hey, we've got all these characters, guys. Don't worry. Here. So they kind of blew their load a little bit early, for lack of better phrasing. So yeah, that was the marketing, and now then the movie came out. It was March 24th, I think. That when you got to see it, you got to see the Thursday night premiere night, right? I was really surprised. Like, oh, tickets are gonna be sold out. I'll go Friday.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because I'm rushed to the movie theater. I'm like, come on! And I brought my friend with me, and I'm like, all right, we have to hurry and go. Hurry, get in the car. I already bought our tickets. Just pay me back later.
Yeah.
And then we got there. I'm like, oh well.
I guess we got great chill for a little while. Yeah.
Okay.
That's funny. So yeah, the movie came out. You watched it. A lot of things happened. There's lots of Justice League set. This is a spoilers review, so there's lots of Justice League setup. Lex Luthor acting like Edward Nygma. Superman dies. He. How do you feel about? Let's get the main entree right now. Batman vs. Superman. Spoilers. First of all, let's maybe give the things that we liked about the movie first. So let's start off on a positive note. What did you like about Batman vs. Superman? As I switch over to my pros versus cons list.
Well, I had a whole lot of pros for this movie. Seen it the second time.
Yeah, you've seen it twice now.
Yeah. First of all, we got to talk about the cinematography.
That's what I have first thing written down too.
It's freaking beautiful.
Beautiful movie.
Oh man. And then second, the dialogue. Oh my gosh. It's like freaking, because I know Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns.
Yeah.
I know him and David S. Goyer and someone else. They all worked on the script together.
Yeah, along with the guy who wrote Argo. So.
Yeah. I'm like, man, this is beautiful writing. It's crazy.
The dialogue, especially with, I liked a lot of the banter between Bruce Wayne and Alfred. Yeah. I love this new version of Alfred. He was so great.
He's like, you could tell he's gonna be the MI6 Alfred.
The kind of version that used to be like in the British Secret Service and fought in wars and was like a medic in the army. And yeah, very good job. He's kind of reminded me a little bit. I don't like Gotham as a show that much, but like the Alfred they have on Gotham is like a badass. It kind of seemed like that a little bit.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne. So were you let down by him, or did you like it?
I loved him as Batman.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne, he was kind of lackluster for me.
Okay.
It's like he didn't feel so, he didn't feel so elegant to me. He's like more of like a, oh man, I'm from Brooklyn, man.
Yeah.
Like type of guy, and I'm like,
You're right. He doesn't have as much of the like. I've heard other people say this, and I kind of agree that he portrayed Batman really well. But the act that is Bruce Wayne, the kind of half drunken, like womanizing kind of faux James Bond kind of acting guy. He didn't really. He more so just kind of went with the whole gruff thing the whole time. Except there's one scene I think where Lex Luthor's assistant goes down and talks to him, and he pretends to be drunk. That was that was pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't a bad Bruce Wayne at all. He was.
You're just saying he shined a little bit more so as Batman.
Yeah. Okay. Batman was his thing.
Now, how did you feel about Batman killing? I know that we're going to get back to more pros in a second, but yeah, Batman killing.
I thought it was, I actually kind of laughed at some points because I got to the point where I was like, I was like counting how many people he killed.
You had to lose count, surely.
Yeah,
so much destruction.
He stabbed a dude in the freaking heart. I'm like, what the heck?
He took a gun, literally, from another guy and shot a guy with it. And I'm like, that is like, Christian Bale's Batman would be freaking out.
I was
right
like, oh
now.
my God.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's so funny. But yeah.
I don't count the post-apocalyptic scene with him killing people.
Yeah, there's a dream sequence, so yeah, he didn't actually do that.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean,
still the car chase where he's chasing that semi, and with the guy, he's got a little tracer on it, and he's like literally blowing people up, crashing through buildings and stuff.
And once the friggin' everyone's dead in the car, he gets it and just drags it and hits another car. I'm like, what?
That's got to say, back into the pros a little bit, that regardless of whether or not how many people died from all the fighting in this film, like in Man of Steel, fan-freaking-tastic.
Yes.
I loved all the scenes of Batman taking out people, Superman being Superman. When Superman shows up at what was happening in the desert scene was a little kind of messy. I didn't really, the exposition was weird, but Superman actually taking out all those people was awesome.
Yeah,
so,
that was awesome.
Then what else do I have written down? The characterization, I thought, of Batman and Superman was really well. Talking about Superman's arc from Man of Steel, how did you think that was very well carried over from that movie?
Yes, it was. And like I said, I don't like Superman. I really don't. But how they portrayed him in this movie, I loved him. And it made me feel for him at points. Because I'm like, man, this is like normal feelings like everyone goes through. It's like, people will put you down. Some people will even fear you, but you know. You know who you are, and
It was really good. I liked Henry Cavill. I think Henry Cavill. I haven't seen Christopher Reeve's Superman movies, and I haven't seen any other Superman movies other than Man of Steel, actually. So
really,
but I have a hard time picturing other people play this character now because Henry Cavill, he just does a great job. And I almost thought that I agreed or sympathized more so with Superman than I did Batman, because I feel like Batman is typically the more relatable character. He's just an average guy who's trying to do the right thing. But really, that's what they made Superman feel like. Yeah, he's Superman, he's a god, but he has feelings just like you and I. Yeah. And the little scenes where, how cute was it? The bathtub scene with him and Lois Lane. I loved them as a couple. A lot of people don't like them.
I did,
but I thought they were very, especially after Man of Steel, I think it made Lois Lane a lot more tolerable as Amy Adams playing Lois Lane, because she didn't have to be so I'm tough, and here's why, I'm a woman, but I'm tough. It's like, I get it. You can be just a person.
You want to know something?
What's that?
I found out, so remember the first scene where she's in the desert?
Yes.
And that one dude she was with gets shot in the head?
Yes.
Okay. I found out that dude was Jimmy Olsen.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard there was a cameo for Jimmy Olsen in the movie, but I didn't know who it was.
Yeah,
now,
it was him apparently.
Does he have in the comics? Does he have a background for being involved in special ops missions and stuff?
I don't believe so. He's just a photographer.
See, that was a little weird. Oh, the photographer at the beginning that gets killed.
Yeah.
That was Jimmy Olsen. They killed him off right at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I was so depressed when I heard that. I'm like, oh, damn.
Jimmy Olsen's dead, guys. Okay. Perry White was really good in this movie too. Lawrence Fishburne.
I love Lawrence Fishburne.
He's like, breaking news, crime wave in Gotham. Other news, water, wet.
Oh my God.
That's pretty great, because you watch the Dark Knight trilogy or the Batman movies, and you're like, yeah, Gotham's a shithole. We know, okay?
Oh my God.
Now here's one thing. We're still talking about pros, but I'm going to sidestep a little bit that. One thing that I did feel, let's just, get right into it, because, we'll get into the pros. Finish out the pros. I love that it felt like a DC comic book. It felt like they were really good at establishing this world. Whenever Lex Luthor is at the top of the LexCorp building, looking over to the bay, to the bat light in the city, I really felt, oh my gosh, I'm in this DC cinematic universe. It really feels cool. So that was really good.
Yeah, and I love oh man, I forgot. I love just the visuals, man. Just I can't get over that. I just really can't. And all the Easter eggs there were, Like, literally, I lost count of all the Easter eggs. Like, that's how...
Some of them were really well done. Some of them were a little bit more so shoehorned. Like the email, thought that was a little bit late on thick. I was like, they already got the logos and everything designed for everybody.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, we already made your logos for you. No need to.
But I
get your names too.
Yeah, I get that it's necessary because they do have to put all the building blocks together. How did you feel? Could you explain to me the Flash scene? Because someone said Flashpoint paradox. Oh yeah, that's what they're getting toward. What is that alluding to in the film?
Pretty much the post-apocalyptic scene you saw.
Yes.
We don't really know too much about what's gonna happen, like what leads up to it. But I'm guessing that Lois essentially gets killed.
Because that's what happens in Injustice, right? She gets killed, and then Superman goes crazy.
And I don't know because I don't think Superman's gonna kill Darkseid, but I guess they're probably gonna be working together in a sense. So they got the Justice League, they're back. They're like, okay, we can't deal with Superman anymore. He's going crazy. So I guess what Batman's gonna tell Flash to do is like go back in time, tell him to like prevent something. And yeah, pretty much he's just trying to prevent the
bad future from happening, kind of. Interesting. So we're gonna have. It'll be interesting to see where that goes because I thought that was very I got all the everything was really crystal clear until you got to the nightmare scene. I didn't okay, so he's in a dream right now, but what does this mean? And they didn't really. I guess that is a con kind of because I feel like my Papa Larry, who I go to see all these movies with, if I had barely an idea what was going on, I feel like he must have been so lost.
Oh
because they didn't really do a good job explaining just what's going on. Okay, here's the granted they didn't need to do it too treat us like 5-year-olds, but a little bit more explanation would have been nice. So the reasoning for this is moving over. Well, I also like the IMAX. The IMAX, I think we can. Well, you didn't see the IMAX version.
No, sadly.
Check it out in IMAX. Fantastic. Yeah.
I haven't seen an IMAX movie forever.
I saw it at the same theater where I saw Dark Knight Rises in IMAX, same theater that I saw Godzilla in IMAX, same theater that I saw some other movies that I can't remember right now in IMAX. What else did I see? I don't know. We'll get there.
I don't know.
So, the Batman vs. Superman, fantastic in IMAX. Not only are some of the fight scenes that were done in the movie really well done, but there's other like Superman's funeral. That looks great in IMAX, and they shot a lot of cool stuff for it. So moving over into the cons, one thing that I really didn't like, I really loathed this, Superman's motivation for fighting Batman. Okay, I wanted to see them mad at each other. I wanted to see Superman genuinely want to think that Batman needs to be stopped and he needs to take him down. I thought it was really cheap that they had Lex Luthor. Speaking of which, why does Lex Luthor want to steal Martha Kent and have her killed maybe? See, I don't know.
When that thing went down, when she got kidnapped and it cut to Batman, I'm like, oh crap, Batman did that.
Yeah,
but
I guess another thing. The editing was a little weird too. It kind of dropped and cut scenes at the same time. But yeah. So it's just I felt like they couldn't think of a reason to have Superman fight Batman. So they're just they kind of started to a little bit when they had Clark Kent investigating kind of the Bat vigilante taking down all the criminals. But then they just kind of drop it and they're like, you know what? Actually, his mom's kidnapped, so you got to go fight Batman or else your mom dies. And I'm like, oh, okay. Man. So then it takes away all the emotion from Superman fighting him.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I felt some emotion there because it's like, I'm really scared because, I found out I can't save everyone, and I have to save my mother. She's like the last. She's like the last person.
His connection to his family. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm iffy on it.
Would you have liked to? So you think that they should have kept it in, or would you have liked them to kind of expand on it a little bit more and just do it a little bit differently?
Well, I guess I don't know because I think that just set up how they were going to resolve their problem.
You're right, and that's a good point too because I loved how great was that scene where he's saying Martha, Martha, and he's like, "What are you saying?" And then Lois Lane comes in. She's like, "Martha, it's his mom. Just go save his mom." And he realizes you can tell in that moment Ben Affleck as Batman is like, oh my God, this is a guy. This is a person with hopes and dreams and failures and successes and a family and a girlfriend and a mother and people he cares about. And it was a very nice little human moment in this movie. So yeah, did you like that? No, hated it. Terrible. Don't do it again.
No, it caught me off guard because I'm like, oh wow, their moms have the same name. I never noticed that.
I never put it together either.
But I thought it was kind of cheesy, to be very honest. I thought, it
could be,
It could have been better. They could have, if people like that, I mean, that's cool. I mean,
Granted, now a lot of people say it was a very fast change to have them to go from, oh, I want to kill you, I want to kill you. Okay, your mom's name is Martha. Let's be friends.
Yeah, it was way too fast because it's like, oh, hey,
yeah,
our moms have the same name. Okay, cool. Let's be best friends forever. Okay.
Yeah, it worked for me because I get what they because at that point I was like, this Batman versus Superman fight's not going to go anywhere, so let's just get it freaking over with. Because I was very mad when I saw the movie because I was like, they surely didn't spoil the whole movie in the trailer, did they? They did. So I was a little annoyed by that, but I knew that we had to get on to the Doomsday fight, so I was ready to do it. So I bought in to just, okay, this is the building block to getting to the Justice League part, and then the Doomsday fight happens. So then, how did you feel? Well, before we get to the Doomsday fight, we will get there, but Lex Luthor is a character. Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal of him. How did you feel about that? Because he's very
I think that he's a good actor. He was a great actor in that movie.
Great in The Social Network. Great actor. Yeah.
He was even a great character in that movie. But he wasn't Lex Luthor. That's
there you go. Yeah.
He man, like if he was anyone else, he would have been great. But he was not Lex Luthor to me.
Yeah, because I was hoping someone else.
Like I was like, dear God, please let Bryan Cranston come in at the end. But I know.
Hey, I'm your dad that you keep talking about. Get out of here, Lex. Yeah, that would have been cool. But do you think they might leave the door open for? Because did they ever mention whether or not his dad was dead or not?
Oh no, his dad's alive. I'm pretty
so they could have Bryan Cranston come in and be bald and be like, hey son, get to the curb. I don't like you anymore. So like, let's focus on me as a villain.
Yeah, that'd be kind of weird though too.
That would be kind of weird. It would have been like, all right, you would be able to tell that the screenwriters are like, crap, they don't like our Lex Luthor. Let's write in a new one.
Yeah.
Kind of sucked that like the Jimmy Olsen thing. This is the Lex Luthor that we're stuck with now for this DC cinematic universe.
Yeah,
coming forward.
And he's literally like a psychopath though. That's the thing. I'm like,
don't you think people would have noticed that too? Because he's like doing all the like when he's giving that speech and he's forgetting about what he's saying, and then he like starts freaking out in the middle of it, and then he starts like. If I was in the audience, I would be like, this guy's kind of freaking weird, so I'm gonna leave. And
I'm like, let's not give this guy the alien body, all right?
Yeah, let's not. And then that grandma's peach tea thing though, that was very funny. I really liked that moment.
Literally, like everyone was laughing, and I'm like, oh, this is funny. And then boom, I'm like, whoa.
That scene got me, man. Whenever Superman leaves, and you can just tell, like, man,
oh man,
this is a bad situation. And then he flies up. The only thing is, they didn't really follow through on it because they do in the news reports say, oh, well, we know that the wheelchair guy did it. And it's like, dang it! I wish they would have like thought maybe Superman. They would have had a little bit more of that.
Really, there was no
fallout
intent.
of it. Yeah,
there was like no purpose for that scene, but it was awesome, and I loved when like
it's a great scene. Yeah,
I love when all the explosions were around Superman. He's like indestructible. He's just looking at everything. He's like
he's so upset that
he's crying. That was like one of the best scenes.
It was great, yeah, because that's one of those moments where I knew, like, holy crap. Just things are getting bad for these characters in this movie, because then that happens. And then, of course, they're like, oh, well, we know the wheelchair guy did it. It's like, okay, well, I guess I don't need to worry anymore. Yeah. So, yeah, then the Lex Luthor fight then the Batman vs. Superman fight happens. Lex Luthor makes him go save Martha, and then we get Doomsday.
Yeah.
How did you feel about Doomsday? You saw the trailers, a little bit iffy on that. So then you see him actually in the film. What did you think of him being in the film and then his fight?
He was really cool, actually.
Yeah.
When I saw him, I'm like in the trailer, I'm just like, he's really derpy looking. But then
I was still in the movie. I was still a little bit kind of taken out by how. He did look kind of like a little bit like a PS4 game.
Yeah, he looked like an orc from freaking Lord of the Rings.
You're right. Yeah, I did.
Or like a I don't know, like an
orc had sex with one of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There he is. He had
an ugly combination.
Yeah.
But I really liked him though. He was really cool, and I liked his whole I guess he had like that power like the.
One thing I did like was because I didn't really like Doomsday that much, and that's fine. That's what makes movies great. But one thing I did like was how the bones kind of started spurring out of him, and I realized, he's turning more into the Doomsday from the comics. Because when you see him in that first trailer, you're like, he doesn't look like Doomsday from the comics, and then you're like, okay, he's gonna turn more kind of like that. And I
thought there was gonna be another form after that to where he looked more and more like Doomsday and less like a Ninja Turtle.
And
there wasn't.
And the thing is, with Doomsday, he dies in the comics a lot of times, but he always comes back bigger and better and stronger. Do you think he's gonna come back?
I hope not.
You hope not. You're like, okay, let's just get that out of the way. Darkseid, come on.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless Darkseid takes him as a pet or something, that'd be pretty sweet.
That'd be kind of cool, yeah.
But but that whole death of Superman scene.
Yeah, how did you feel? Okay, yeah, so he saves Lois Lane from the from getting drowned, and then he has to go in and get the kryptonite. Stabs Zod slash Doomsday with the kryptonite.
Zod's Day.
Yeah, Zod's Day. And then Superman gets stabbed by the little thing, the little spiky thing that came out. So yeah, Death of Superman. What do you think?
See, that movie was really good until that point.
Oh yeah.
Because what they did, they messed it up. Because if they want to do any more Superman movies,
they gotta work around that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like everyone knows, like, oh wow, he can die. I mean, is he gonna die again? Like, if they make him die again, that would be so dumb.
Yeah, they can't. They completely blew their load way too soon because they can't ever, like I was telling you off camera, this is that's like a Justice League Part 2 kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Something that, a big old cliffhanger at the end of the movie that's just like, oh my God, we've gotten to know this character over however many movies instead of just 2. And but yeah, it was very too quick.
Yeah, it was just way too quick, and it's gonna be so weird because in Justice League, what are they gonna do? Because after that, there's like 4 more Supermans. There's like the Cyborg one, there's Superboy, there's freaking Steel.
Yeah.
And then there's the other dude. I forgot his name. Are they gonna try and incorporate them? Because that's gonna be real. That's gonna be so awkward.
Pretty crazy, yeah.
Like that's something you should have saved for like like you said, Justice League Part 2 or something.
Yeah, just something, not the second movie in your expanded universe.
Yeah, like he was literally in like a movie and a half.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And then. Man.
So they're gonna, do you think that they're probably at the beginning of Justice League Part 1? They've got to have him come back, right?
Oh yeah,
because they're not gonna do a Justice League movie without. I imagine he'll stay dead for the Wonder Woman movie and Suicide Squad, but then he'll come back and.
I just think it's so stupid though. But okay, I would have been fine if they killed him and they didn't show that last frame where the dirt was levitating.
Yeah,
I would have been
now they backed themselves
fine.
into a corner.
Yeah, because that would have been a perfect cliffhanger. It's like, oh crap, is he really dead or?
Yeah, and
but then you're like, oh yeah, he's not dead.
Moments like that where I feel like Zack Snyder's like he's trying to make this movie smarter than it is.
Yeah,
because
it's not Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, he's not Christopher Nolan like doing the Inception with the top kind of toppling a little bit maybe like ooh, is he in the dream? Is he not? It's like ooh, is he dead? Is he not? It's like no, I just know how the story, because I've heard about comics and I know how the story goes that you're gonna do Superman Lives in Justice League Part 1 and then this is all gonna be irrelevant and then it just wasn't messy.
Needed.
Very messy movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've gone through all that stuff. Anything else you want to add? Your final thoughts and then your score on Batman versus Superman.
Well, see, like I was saying earlier about Supergirl. Okay, so what if something happens when they so he's dead. What if in Justice League they bring in Supergirl?
And
instead of like getting all 4 of those superheroes, they just get Supergirl.
That would have been kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. I'd be open to that too because it'd be different, but it would be something that to fill that void.
Yeah, and he could just be like in hiding or something, and then he'll come out and like at the very end with Darkseid just.
Yeah, because obviously he's gonna come back. We're not gonna have him Superman dead for the rest of the DC cinematic universe.
If he was dead for the rest of the freaking universe, I would be like, I've never seen a DC movie again.
I do get though that they did make Batman the one. Because with Superman there, it's like okay, he can patrol the world, he can do it all by himself. Now without Superman, Batman's kind of like okay. We kind of need to create a Justice League.
I had a few complaints about Batman.
Okay.
Little minor ones.
Sure.
One, he felt like a villain to me.
Yeah, he did.
And another thing is that he didn't feel like the all-knowing Batman to me. Like because you could tell that, because there were scenes where like he would get his butt kicked by like little thugs, and I'm like, that's not Batman. knows everything.
Yeah, he's gonna just eat these little peanuts for breakfast.
Yeah, and then that first scene where he fell down the cave and they made him fly back up.
That was so cheesy. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Because that was freaking cheesy.
Literally, I thought they were gonna do something cool, like they circle around him, and then they like
stands up. Yeah,
and then he like finds a ladder or something, like show him like the path, to.
Yeah, how to get out, but instead they literally carry. Was that a dream? I couldn't tell if that was a dream or not.
I think it was a dream because I think he said.
I hope it was at least a dream because that was chilly. That was cheesy.
Yeah, he said something after that happened. It was like in that dream, something.
Yeah,
but yeah,
he was narrating a lot of the first part of the movie, wasn't he? I didn't realize. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh man.
Definitely a movie that I need to watch again because it's a lot to digest. And I was going to do my review like the Friday night that I saw it, and then again I tried again on the Saturday night, and then I was just so all over the place, and it was just kind of me sitting there going, well, maybe, I don't know, and, kind of because it's just there's a lot. There's 2 hours, 2 minutes, and it's a lot to take in. So
yeah, it is. Another complaint I may have had was like the pacing with it. I know they tried to write it like a comic book, but literally it was just kind of everywhere.
Some things, yeah, work better in
like,
comics.
hey, we're with Lex. Okay, now shoot, scene with freaking Bruce. Okay, now we're back with Lex. Now Lois.
Exactly.
Now Bruce. And I was like,
it was weird because I thought scenes were over, and I was like, okay, we're done with that scene. Then they cut back to it, and I'm like, oh, this is still going on. Well, what just happened? And
And literally there were scenes that did not need to be in there. Like, let's see, that scene where Bruce wakes up.
Yeah.
And next to that girl.
The girl, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
why?
That had nothing to do. With, and plus you could have like added that one scene where he he goes to Alfred. You could just put that together. That could have been just one whole scene.
Yep.
But they just like to split it up like that, and it gets really confusing.
Get that runtime in, man. Make it feel like an epic. I don't know. That's what they're trying to do, I guess. I don't know. It's one of those things. Like I keep saying, I give it 6 out of 10 stars. Batman vs Superman. Still, I always go back to this. I consider if it's over 5, it's a good movie. If it's below 5, it's a bad movie. So Batman vs Superman, it's like one of those things, people expect you to be like, it's either terrible or it's great. And I think it was okay with a lot of problems, but there's a lot of good stuff to be found in there too. And I think you kind of feel similar. So
yeah. Another thing I'm going to go over real quick.
Sure.
Real quick. See, they said that this Batman is aged. Because in the movie they said he's been doing it for like, what, 30 years, 20 years?
Yeah, I think 20.
Yeah, okay. And he kills. Okay. So I'm thinking Suicide Squad is probably placed before Batman vs Superman.
Okay.
Like way before. Because we don't hear anything about the Joker or anything.
Well, notice they do in the Suicide Squad trailer. They say, well, maybe Superman coming out of hiding, or maybe Superman was like a beacon of them coming out. So it's at least got to be after Man of Steel, though.
Oh yeah, okay. Cause that kind of blows my theory out of the water. Because I was thinking like maybe like something happened
that made
like
him
the
start
whole
to kill. Yeah.
Like Joker kills Jason Todd, and then Batman's just like he's just so mad and all that, and he just kills Joker. And then from that, he's like, I don't really care if anyone dies now. So
yeah, why not?
That's my whole thing, and why he kills.
That is a great point, because like, why if this version of Batman is okay with killing, then why is the Joker still alive? Because that is the whole thing with the Joker in the Killing Joke, the comic book, The Dark Knight, the movie.
Yes.
Batman is constantly struggling with the fact that if I put you in Arkham, if I just put you in jail, you're going to break out and kill more people, and that's my fault, technically, because I'm not taking you out. So why is this Batman not just like, screw it, I'm going to kill you, bam, you're dead, saved a bunch of lives, okay, done.
Yeah, for real. I mean, he's probably done it. We don't know, though, until we
won't know until Suicide Squad. And I was, did you say stay through the credits the first time?
Yeah.
I was so pissed. There's no post-credit scene.
Yeah, because I saw this article. They're like, post-credit, we're going to be talking about post-credit scenes on Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually read the article. I just read the little title. And then I'm like, okay.
First line is, there are none.
Yeah.
That's it.
I should have actually read. But
no. But yeah.
But they're saying Zack Snyder was like doing something like, he didn't want to be like Marvel, so he did all of his stuff like before the movie ended.
Yeah, it's very obvious that he did that with the email and hey, here's the video of Aquaman swimming around, looking at you.
He looked pretty sweet. I'll give you that. Like, I don't like.
He
Aquaman.
looked sweet. I didn't like what he was doing though, because I was like, you got surveillance footage of the Flash, saving someone in a convenience store. That was cool.
Oh yeah.
You got a picture of Wonder Woman from 1910. That was cool. But then you literally got the cyborg thing. That was pretty cheesy, I thought.
Yeah. I wanted to see his whole friggin'. His old costume, like, all together.
Yeah, I thought the CGI was pretty bad on that, too. Yeah. But kind of like the CW. Like, I felt, am I watching The Flash, or am I watching Batman versus Superman? I don't know. But, then lots of, very much so a mixed bag for Batman versus Superman. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. If I had to rate it, though.
Yes.
First time I would have given it, like, just a 5 out of 10. But seeing it again... And just enjoying the movie as it is, I already know what's coming, but it was just an entertaining movie.
Exactly, you're not so bogged down by the surprises of, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this. But now you can actually look back and just, okay, I'm just going to take this movie as it is and enjoy it.
Just go and reflect on it.
Yeah, that's what I need to do.
Yeah. So my final score, I'm going to give that movie I want to give it a 7.5 out of 10.
7.5 out of 10?
Yeah, 7 or 8. Maybe.
Or 8?
Just because the cinematography was amazing.
Cinematography was really good.
Oh,
so
man.
There you have it, 7.5 out of 10, maybe 8. We'll say 7.5 for now. Yeah. I'll say 6 out of 10. for now, it's still, like I say, 6 out of 10 is still a positive review.
Oh, yeah.
But, I can't say that everything was great with this movie. And just like I can't say everything was bad with this movie. The thing is, and this is the final question before we outro our video, I guess, are you excited, more excited after seeing this movie for the future Justice League movies?
If they don't do the Injustice storyline, yeah. But
so wait, why do you not want to see the Injustice storyline? Because you just don't want to see Superman as a villain, or what?
No, it's like literally they do that. Like DC is known for that little storyline. They like always mix it up and make it different, but it's always the same.
The same kind of general thing.
It's annoying.
Okay.
But I will say this, the last thing I say about Batman versus Superman. The critics are really harsh on this movie. Very harsh. They're too harsh. Rotten Tomatoes, the critic freaking gave it like a 33, 29.
29% right now.
It was not that bad, guys. Go out and see it. Just witness for yourself. Don't listen to the critics. Because what they try to do nowadays, they're just trying to the internet's full of just haters pretty much.
It can't, yeah.
What they just hate on you, and people don't see the good in the film.
They like to jump on the bandwagon too. I feel like a lot of people like to just, okay, well, this person's saying it, and this person's saying it, this person's saying it, so that must be true, so I'm going to say it, and then more people...
I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, more people jump on from there, and then... Yeah. But yeah, the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, because it has critic score and it has audience score. Critic score is like 29%. Audience score, though, is closer to like 70, 75%.
Like 72, 75,
so, so definitely, I think it's definitely a movie that, if you're a comic book fan, if you're a movie or if you're a fan of fun action movies, if you're a fan of Batman, if you're a fan of Superman, if you're a fan of just a big epic, go see this. Go see this film. It's really got a lot of good to be had, a lot of bad to be had too. Not gonna lie, but it's really fun to be in on the conversation too, because you don't want to be sitting there at work hearing your buddies over there talking about it and say, "Man, that was crazy when Superman dies." You don't want to be like, because that's a pretty big spoiler. And yeah.
It was just a treat to watch, honestly, the second time. The first time, I'm just like,
Still kind of, flabbergasted, but then the second time you can enjoy it more. And that's what I need to do, and I'm definitely going to go back. Probably we'll skip out on the IMAX this time for the next time, but I definitely want to just go back and just have fun with it. So, for the Film Fan Club show, this was our Batman versus Superman spoiler-heavy review. We talked about Man of Steel, the trailers, Superman, Batman, all that stuff. So let's talk about, for a second, what's next for the DC Cinematic Universe? Now, this movie made over $420 million this past weekend at the box office. So I think to say, screw the critics, they're going to make more of these movies.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if did you see the most recent picture from Wonder Woman that was released, and it had her, Robin Wright, it had...
did it have Chris Pine in it?
No, it did not have Chris Pine, but it showed them on Themyscira.
You
did see that one with the armor?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that picture, just in the Wonder Woman movie in general going forward?
Gosh, I'm so excited for the Wonder Woman movie. Because literally, if they're gonna set that movie back in like 1980 whatever, or 1918 whatever, like during the World War I,
I think 1918, yeah.
Because I love movies like that when they they go back to like
a period piece. Yeah, it's really fun to see that.
Yeah, it's great.
In World War II, we see done a lot, but World War I, I don't think we see as much as World War II. So it'll be kind of new a little bit.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that though.
I agree. I think Robin Wright is a fantastic addition because I've been watching House of Cards. I'm going to do a House of Cards review at some point. I don't know when, but I'm going to. Check it out when that happens. Also going to talk about Daredevil soon. Don't know when that's going to happen, but it will happen. But Robin Wright is great in House of Cards. She's great in Forrest Gump. So she's a great actress nonetheless. So it'll be really cool to see her be a kick-ass Amazonian Themysciran warrior.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
I think that'll be great. Suicide Squad's coming up next. All the trailers for that have been great so far.
Yes.
And I'm finally, I can say it, I'm on board with Jared Leto as the Joker now. I am. I was very much mixed about that. Are you on board with it or no?
I got to see him.
Still got to see it?
I'm not too thrilled because when you give Joker a grill,
yeah.
And all those
the tats.
Which I hope those tattoos were just like
part of the marketing.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely in the film because they tried to lie for a while and they were like, no, it's just gonna be in the marketing. It's just an anniversary picture for the Joker. And then I saw the trailers. They're like, nope, it's there. It says damaged on his forehead. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's coming up very soon. Actually, this August, Suicide Squad, and next summer is Wonder Woman. So make sure you check that stuff out. And of course, you can follow me on the various social media sites at Samuel D. Carrico. That's my Twitter and Instagram, and of course Vimeo, where I occasionally host the show Riverside Live. We have here at Tulsa Tech Wednesdays at 9 a.m. in the break room. And I'm going to turn it over to my co-host for today, Anthony. One more time, tell them about your movie and where they can find it online.
All right. My movie's called Closure, post-apocalyptic zombie film. You know, I just wanted to give like a new take on, you know, the whole zombie franchise, because everyone's doing the same thing. You know, I'm just want to give like a new breath to it, you know, new breath of life to it. If you want to find me, I'm Movie Man Productions, Productions. Pro's capitalized, Z at the end. Make it easier, it's probably going to be in the description, hopefully.
Yeah, link will be in the description of this video, so you can just click on it and it'll take you right to his channel, so you can subscribe. And I think it's also, I made it one of the featured channels on our YouTube page, so if you just go to our main YouTube page, click under channels, it has myself, Ricky, and then it has Movie Man Productions. And I believe we actually brought a clip, right? We have a trailer?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so here is a trailer for the upcoming movie Closure in theaters this Friday, or on YouTube this
I wish it was in theaters.
coming out this Friday. Check it out.
All right.
Once again, that is Closure, directed by him, starring me. It'll be on your YouTube channel, Movie Man Productions, on April 1st, this Friday. Thanks so much for coming on the show today, Anthony. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, link in the description below. That's a 7.5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 for Batman vs. Superman. Thanks a lot, guys, and this has been the Film Fan Club Show. We'll see you next time.
See ya.